Hello everyone, this is part number 2 of our replicating missile guide. We managed to finish Act 1, and the next thing that I want to do is take my movement ability. This is a solo self-out run, so I don't have access to this before I finish Act 1. Here usually I have to deal with a trial. I'm gonna pick some lore notes, which explains what the witch cults are. There is a 6 of them. They are pretty nice source of experience. They are basically high tier lore nodes. And there is a secret door here. This chest provides sometimes useful stuff. Actually, this is a pretty nice shoulders of kings. It's a total damage. Not much useful stuff, but extra. This is gonna be a level 20. Next level we're gonna get some boost, mental alacrity and conversion. These are pretty nice passives.
The emissary.
No problem at all. Which cult you gonna choose? It's all depends. Usually gonna max them out pretty much at the same time. I prefer Soleil. Their questline is a very easy, very fast one. Also their movement ability is on a lower cooldown and it's transparent. Basically I don't need a target to use it. This is a bull rush. Usually that's my top pick on a solo self-found. Some people prefer different things. This is actually not bad offhand. It's time to change. And we can start with Act 2. We are kinda okay. Let's see if Explorer trousers kinda cheap. They're kinda cheap, but I'm kinda broke as well. So we got one Ratstone. I'm gonna use it on the weapon. And I'm gonna come back to craft some stuff when I get a little bit richer. Act 2 is all around Cronley's gang. Darius Cronley is a little bit lower note. He is a criminal. His gang, all of them criminals. He has a lot of lieutenants. You have to kill some of them according to acquire several items, some of them very optional. But any named hero is basically a lieutenant of Darius Cronley. There is a hierarchic system like any other gang. What we can say about him, he is different than Warden Creek. Ethereals, they know he's way too smart to possess him. Usually they can possess a very low minds without strong will, but Darius Cronley, being a natural leader, is very smart, so they make another deal with him. Instead of possess him, he makes deal with the Ethereals to provide him unlimited supply of crystals, so in this way he can ascend his army and make super soldiers, basically by implement ethereal crystals on their back. This is one of his lieutenants. This is Edmund Shanks. Every single of his lieutenants have a specific name. Some of them have a very disturbing backgrounds. Most of them very sadistic, very ruthless. Plan of Darius Cronley is to get hands on Devil's Crossing. Basically, Devil's Crossing have a strategic position to the north, and this is his plan. If you control Devil's Crossing, you control all the path to north and northeast, and all the path to basically west and northwest. This is gonna give him unlimited supply of iron bits, scraps, everything useful in this post-apocalyptic world. Here we're gonna save Skinner and his family. He was on the way to kill them. Usually we are not the good guy, but sometimes in terms of experience and loot I have to take the good side and the positive side of the quest line. Here is another quest. This guy wants from us to kill his partner. We don't want to, because Isaiah Reddin is one of the most important vendors on a solo self-found run or a league start runs and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna pick the top options, and I'm gonna believe him that this guy wants to rape his daughter. And here is our first interaction with rovers. Rovers, a very interesting fashion. They are kinda homeless type of guys. They live in these kinda camps. They don't like buildings and stuff. They like to live alongside with the nature, outside in fields, forests, that kind of stuff. And they are actually have serious problems with Cronley gang. Cronley used them as slaves for different stuff, gutter scraps and other not very pleasant stuff as well. He used Rover's woman for a personal pleasure. That's why we have to kill this criminal. And here is a very nice relic. This is a sanctuary. This is a very nice boost. A very sweet find. Especially now I'm in desperate need for a pierce resistance. Here I'm after a devotion point. I'm gonna skip this boss. I don't need anything from him. Usually he is a good source if you are after cold weapons, either Trozan or Nightblade weapon pool skill or Shadow Strike sword. But I'm 180 replicating missile caster, so I definitely can skip him. Here is a very important. I'm gonna take conversion and mental alacrity for more casting speed. This is gonna improve my single target damage by a lot if I manage to stack as much as I can. That's gonna hurt my okay, always keep in mind you have to use your rift management. I don't have to walk, I can straight away teleport. Now we lack dynamite, so we have to kill one of the Cronley's lieutenants. This is not a bad armor piece. It's a better inside proc. Definitely I'm gonna swap this. And I'm gonna transfer the component.
Need something broken down? Bring me back something.
Gonna sell some stuff. This is not a bad medal. A defensive one. I'm gonna keep it for now. I need some money, so I have to sell some stuff. This is a useless one. This is not that bad, but it's very low level. And I have to craft another redstone for damage. But sooner or later, probably... Yeah, I have problems with these cracked lodestones. This is very strange. Usually I have plenty at this point. Okay, we're gonna craft for ourselves then a purified salt. We're gonna fight a lot of ethereals soon. Okay, let's take a visit to the Nicholas Balthazar. There is an undead totem. Actually, I'm gonna check it. This usually spawns a very slow monsters. Not gonna have problems to kill them. Nothing special. Mostly chaos stuff. Nothing useful for me. Useful stuff for me is gonna come a little bit late in the game. Here is some shoulders that I definitely want. I did a deal with Direni for that reason, so I can kill him several times and get a good one. These shoulders comes with elemental damage convert to ether, which is a plan for this playthrough. I plan to play ether. This guy can hurt very much, so be careful. Take your distance. He used Blade Arc and Blitz. Also Force Wave. Nothing useful, a little bit of scrap. The metal is not very tempting as well. And cask is actually something that I'm gonna keep for the big chunk of chaos resistance. We are far from Bloodgrove, but you never know, so it's good to have some peace. Here it's good to focus healers first. Don't let them heal the pack. Every yellow skeleton is a healer. Actually, skeletons that glow in yellow, not exactly yellow. If you want to save materials, you don't have to craft for yourself equilibrium. You can scam rovers and keep the relic from this guy. It's a very nice, well-round relic, so definitely you can use it. This quest is very important, so I'm gonna straight go back. Usually I move forward, but this quest rewards another slot back. And this is huge improvement in a League start or Soul Self-Found run. I'm not gonna scam them, I already craft myself a relic. Let's see what our devotions look like. It seems I can take time for green, so I can move a little bit forward. Also I need green for Widow. So definitely green is my next approach. Probably I'm gonna go Scholar's Light seems okay for me. Ether Elemental Resistance, always use those stuff. Usually Raven is my top pick, but I don't need so much green this time, so I'm gonna stick with Scholar's Light. It's gonna boost a little bit my elemental damage as well. I am still hybrid. I deal Ether and Elemental until I reach Blood Growth. Not Blood Growth, sorry, Ancient Growth. Then I can kill Slitzar and he's gonna drop a medal that fully convert all the elemental damage to Ether. Here, usually what I like to do, leave a rift portal. I'm gonna come back and kill Ronaprax for a Jellis, for a chance actually. It's not guaranteed. I'm gonna pick Supercharged. I'm gonna move forward. This is a new harbor. This village is basically occupied by Cronley. These guys work as slaves. They gather scraps and stuff and they have to give this to this guy Silas because he held in captive all the kids from this town. Best thing you can do, as I always say, just bribe him. He's gonna leave and you're gonna have a chance to kill him later on as a hero, because if I kill him now, he's gonna be a regular white mob, not much of a challenge and very, very disappointing as well. Also, they're gonna murder everything at the village if you kill him. The right thing to do is just bribe him, but don't use scraps, better use bits, because quest reward is a couple of scraps and basically you don't lose anything at the end, just 100 bits, which is nothing in this game. We're gonna clear a little bit more here. Don't underestimate her. She hurts a lot. Especially you can see if she gets you with all her attacks. Another thing that I want to do before I forgot is actually check if this cave scales. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna check. This cavern usually scales very well. And there is a boss that I want to kill for his amulet. This is a slit boss. It seems that this area here doesn't scale. Yeah, mobs very well level. This is pretty unfortunate. This amulet can carry me for a long time, but if it's a low level, it's gonna be a drag. Yeah, it's gonna be a low level. Otherwise there is a good modifiers to Iskandras. Unfortunately very low base. Comes with good numbers of life and poison resistance. Maybe it's worth some swap. This is so unfortunate, this area didn't scale better. But it's what it is. In current level this is pretty much useless. Actually we have to report to Morny that we kill Edmund Shanks.
Well, you were Darius. We have to hit them hard and fast.
We got some scraps. I think we can craft Explorer's trousers. Not huge boost, but still upgrade. Also we can sell this stuff. Arona Praxis actually not bad amulet. Comes with pierce resistance. Total speed. Actually this is better than mine at the moment. So I'm gonna do the swap. This is another okay ring. But Velout ring gives me better resistance for now. So I'm gonna stick with it. I'm just gonna grab my components from the pants and amulet and we're gonna move forward. Okay, our resistance looks not the best, but not the worst either.
Keep your.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Nothing that we can use. It's time to deal with this guy. Gulgot is a actually pretty heavy hitter. He's gonna use Warcry to slows you. You want to be careful for the slums, because he can carry a very bad bone crusher. Here, don't mess with the guys at the pit. You don't want this fight, not on an Arcanist especially. And here is Boris approaches. One by one should be doable. I'm gonna kill him for the reputation. Bounty Hunter belt. This is some random crafts, but sometimes they're pretty useful, especially when you start on a fresh save. And when there is no better options, you always can use them. And this is Madman Wilcox, another of the Cronley's criminals. Wild color skins, this is not a bad basic armor. I think it's slightly better than mine. I lose chaos resistance, but I cap poison. and better armor as well. Actually, I'm gonna do the trade. Now I have my resistance in Pierce Cap, so I can use a different component in the chest. And actually I'm gonna make my armor slightly more effective. I'm gonna craft a scale.
I do the best I can with what I've got.
I'm gonna check my movement speed. We are slightly below the cap. Definitely I can use some components in the boots. Maybe another anti-venom for the regen. No, I'm just gonna leave this open. Mark of the Traveler comes with sweet slow resistance. I prefer to use that one. This is another hero. This is Slavak the Breaker. This is guaranteed spawn, but can be a different one. This is a nice chunk of reputation, so I always kill them usually. Let's see if Moneybox is at home. This is a very important Rift Gate. I'm gonna farm here probably for a better... Okay, Moneybox here. He hurts a lot. He used Grenado. And Termite Mines as well. Blackwater Cocktails. He stacks a couple of different sources of damage, so be careful with him. My builds start to picking up. So it's very comfortable for me now. Usually this is a very important milestones, level 20, level 35, you start to unlock different useful stuff. For now, I think best I can do. I don't need so much dot. I think I'm happy with the damage, so I can focus on my second class. And I have to unlock at least Spectral Rat for a Ether Shred. So I think now is the ideal time to pick up my secondary. Mistwalker Leggings. This is a very common drop. Very useful. Ether, Maven. On top of that, Elemental. Kinda low roll, but that's okay. I'm gonna check my poison. That's gonna solve my problem with the movement speed a little bit as well. It's so sad I have to get rid of the trousers. I already craft them, but you never know. Upgrade is an upgrade, so... It's not a bad thing if poison is a little bit low, because there is not such a massive nuke of acid or poison dot that can kill you that easily, especially in normal. Of course in ultimate it's completely different story, but in normal keeping bleeding or vitality or poison slightly lower, not so overcapped, it's not big deal. And this is the Ascendant ones. And here we're gonna face the rainy soon. You can see he wears the shoulders that I'm looking for. This is the main reason I make a deal with him. Usually I kill him. But these shoulders are very huge part of my setup, my plan for the build. I plan to convert all the elemental damage, and this early conversion is gonna give me like 30% more damage if I roll them a good one. Readiness and Renegade. Conversion is 28, I'm happy with this. Usually 30, 31 I think is the maximum. Not very happy with the suffix and prefix, but this is gonna work out for me. For now, this area scales so I can come back later for a better ones. He is completely farmable boss, he always gonna spawn, and as you can see, my damage ramp up quite a bit. Because the conversion. They drop helm as well, which can be slightly useful to me, not so desired. I can use various of helms instead, but still if they drop it, it's gonna be a nice adjustment to my build. There is a guaranteed spawn totem in the Cronley's hideout, so is it either at the very beginning or the very end? But it's a slow ethereal one. Pretty easy experience and money. Maldwin Cloth, this is a acid and poison type of chest armor. When you approach him for the first time, he wants to talk. I don't want to talk with him. He's gonna pop up his mirror or force field. You have to kite this, you can't damage him. But now he's open for burst. Of course he's ethereal resistant, and I don't have, apart from my Panetti, I don't have any other source of shred. I plan to take Widow after Chariot, but I need some source of defense early on, because Arcanist in general, Spellbinder and the early 30-40 levels very squishy. There is a one-shot chest. We're gonna pick up some goodies. Here I like to pick the cluster, because I play hardcore. Having a panic button is always nice. If you pick any bounties from Devil Crossing, you can check who is his lieutenants. Have a little bit of backstory around them as well. There is a criminal records notes around the world. It's pretty random drop. That explains most of the dangerous ones. We're gonna approach now another very interesting area.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Nothing interesting. This is not for us. from now on we focus on ethereal type of stuff. This is not Harmonious of Psych. This is not bad drink. I'm gonna slap pilot one. Gonna lose slightly ether resistant, but more stats. Actually, I'm gonna need this helm. I don't need this medal. Another useless stuff.
Iron well spent.
We start to go deep in Necro Mastery. We're gonna give the happy news.
Well, damn, now that
We got respected. This is a good point. Finally can change my... We start to pick up some stuff. But we have to be careful with our spending. I don't need any of Blade's Gunslinger now, talismans. I don't need Devil Court. Ether Soul, I don't need it right now. Maybe I'm gonna need it later. Rotten Heart as well. Focusing Prism, I'm gonna need this when I have to craft several stuff. Silver Core Boats. Actually, it's not bad component now, they boosted. Gives total damage, offensive ability and damage to tonics. Which can be very useful, honestly. Especially when I'm off-hunt user. This is a very good sword. But unfortunately, it's requires cunning and I don't want to use that stats. So I'm gonna skip it.
Put it to good use.
I'm gonna bring back my
Take a look, shall we?
which reminds me it's time to get rid of the and stack some vitality resistance. This belt is very bad now. Now at level 24 we can craft some stuff that we find along the way. This is adept gear. We can craft casting speed gloves. Let's do one try. Alacrity, terrible. And this is very nice tri-res boots, but requires level 30. I'm gonna keep my Tempest ones for now. I'm gonna give another shot. Readiness, this is a winner. Now the dilemma is, do I want so much vitality or I want to put my casting speed component for more single target damage and more offensive ability as well, more crits. This is a very tough choice. But I'm kinda squishy, so better stick to the resistances. At least for now, until I sort out my... Let's take Scholar. I have to spoke to Barnabas. I always forgot this quest. But let's do it now.
Come, friend. Ride to...
And time for two infos. This is another area with very interesting story. This is Old Tarkovia City. It comes with back in the days, Tarkovian elders decide to get rid of necromancers. And they built a very special place called Steps of Torment to lock every single necromancer in the world of Cairn. Before they are knowing, actually they captured the most powerful one and they become greedy. They want immortality. So they, after several of tortures and stuff, they convince Uruburuk, the most powerful necromancer in this game, to perform a ritual to make them immortal. And he performed the ritual. They give him a freedom. But after that they realize this is not a gift, not a blessing, this was a curse. And they all of them end up undeads, either spirits or skeletons or whatever. He cursed the whole Old Tarkovia city. Even the everything in Steps of Torment as well. That's why High Priest Sertulian and High Priest Roderatis, both of them undeads. Also the Executioner at this prison is another undead. This is the final boss of Steps of Torment, Alchemist. He was in charge for the executions for the prisoners. This is another very interesting story plot that I like to share. And you have a chance to kill all the elders. Usually I skip this quest line, but I can do it for the sake of the video this time. Also I kill Luraprax. She gives me a nice amulet that can be used for my build basically. There is another, this one is Forsaken, you have to be careful. These spawns are very bad guys. Also a lot of fats around the totem. But I need the reputation. Rovers sell very nice pair of gloves. You don't want to get in melee range with the Gargantuan beasts. They use a very special slam attack that if the first hit lands, the second deals more damage. Okay, we're gonna do the assignment. A quest line that I'm gonna say that again, I usually skip. Our damage start to pick up slowly but surely. Always clear before you summon extra stuff. You don't want to fight with all these things at once. Even if you are confident with the build. Overconfidence is a killer in hardcore. Remember that from me, I ripped several characters because I think I am very good at the game. Let's face the Arkovian Elders. But first let's finish Scholar's Light, so I can unlock finally Chariot. Chariot's gonna use a lot of next skill points, but at least gonna give me defensive ability and armor as a proc, which is very important, and some crucial resistance for casters. Usually I'm not much of a fan of a chariot, but for this build it's kinda necessary. It's gonna give me more values than giant, for example, because I don't plan to stack regen on this build. We're gonna stack different sources of defense and we're gonna rotate Mark of Torment and Mirror and other stuff. This kinda secret area comes with few chests. So on the first level you have one of the elders, and on the second level you have the other two. Also watch out for these bookshelves. We need 3 of them. That's gonna give us a blueprint for a relic, maybe a useful one. We are after Hound or any other nice defensive one. I already have Sanctuary that I can use. This is most annoying type of hero. This is Regenerator. Now it's easy to kill them, but later on it's gonna be a pain in the ass. And this is my final bookshelf. What we got? Actually we got Arcanum Oil. This is not very useful for me. I can buy this usually. This guy, he's a lighting based, have to be careful with him. What I like to do here, usually I'm kinda late with the Rift Portal, but still gonna save me some time. I like to take the Rift Gate before I go deep in the Altar Covenant Undercity for the next 2 kills. Elemental and Ether damage works very well in these areas with undeads compared to other type of damage. That's why I do couple more kills than usual, just to grab some passive experience. Finally, Mark of the Traveler. This is gonna be a nice component for my boots. Usually you have to drop this around level 20, it starts to pop up. Actually around 22 I think, not mistaken. You can always grab one extra of the Forbidden Arts. This is passive experience, not a bad one. I don't like this quest because kinda long and tedious. Navigating this whole thing, it's a little bit rough. Usually I stay away from this area, especially on a speedruns and stuff like this. I prefer to skip it. Honestly, even on a solo self-found run, I prefer to skip it. But now, because I share some part of the lore, I feel kinda guilty if I don't do it. Again, I'm gonna clear before I summon the bad guys, because this is another Forsaken Totem. So much undead. And this is actually a bad spawn. This is 3 of them. and they gonna entrap me, and one of them is a corrupted, which is the worst possible row. Ranger's Helm, Swamp Dweller, this is another good pants if you lack poison resistance. And this is Laudus Varga. He's not very dangerous, but this is very rocky mistake by myself. I didn't kill the healers, they kill him full. You have to avoid the devastation. And you're gonna be fine. We are the other way around. There is nothing here, you have to take the west part of the map if you want to reach the last elder. Again, we have to get rid of all the healers. And we can kill Rowena Kerr. She's not very dangerous. She's a vitality user. My resistance quite okay. And next one is completely optional, but there is a devotion shrine, so I'm go for it. Usually you don't have to kill everybody. Furion, this is a very bad encounter. This guy deals vitality and chaos damage. And my chaos resistance quite bad. My vitality is not top as well. You have to stay away from the pools. And he's gonna end up dead. Our inventory is actually full. There is a treasure trove. Usually I'm not gonna waste dynamite, but I'm kinda broke. So some extra iron bits gonna be handy. And now actually treasure troves are much better. They guaranteed a single component, a rare one. And there is a chance for a second one, like I did right now. So I take my words back, actually treasure troves now worth blowing up. But let's sell some stuff.
Come see what's left of my wares.
This actually is a nice row. In encounters comes with replicating missiles. I'm definitely gonna swap. Warden Creek is already
Need something broken down.
a useless weapon to me. This come with a very nice proc. Not casting speed, unfortunately. But what it is.
See anything you like?
Conduit. This is another thing that I'm seriously think to use, but I feel very weird when I cast with two hand. And this actually is more like of a this not very bad tank ring. I'm gonna keep it for now. Everything else pretty much useless. A very good habit in hardcore is to keep your items, at least the important ones, in a shared stash. So if you lose your character, you're gonna have at least all the rare stuff. You can keep your crystals as well. All of this you can easily find them. It's not big deal if you don't transfer them. You can transfer quite a bit of them as well, just to have a nice start for the next character. Broken Hills, here is the two objectives that I'm looking for. Take down the Lutra and get the devotion point. We start to deal respectful damage. Another Forsaken Totem. Single target's quite low, but that's okay. It's not the worst single target that I ever play with. And this is gonna be fixed when I get my hands on all the MIs that I need. This is gonna be around level 50. Because I'm gonna get hunt on Arcanist belt, probably Arcanist amulet as well. Another not so much useful stuff. These boots can be handy. This is Elsa.
Watch your back.
Morn is looking for her. Both of them work for the military. They were scouts, but they get captured by Cronley's gang. They almost kill Morny and they held in captive Elsa. He's kinda in love in her. Pretend she's like his daughter, but he's definitely in love. And she doesn't want to have anything with him. That's why she wants from you just to tell him she's dead. You can tell him that, or either send him to looking for her, and after that you're gonna find him dead at Broken Hills. This is how much Grim Dawn interactive is compared to other RPGs. There is some decisions at the game that you can find the results later, which I like. I like this type of games, especially this is basically a ARPG. It's not strategy game or something, but still your decisions affects the NPC world in the game. Here is another tough battle that I have to deal with. have to be careful here. These guys use trap skills. You don't want to get trapped, especially in the boss fight. So first take care of the odds. If you get trapped and Voldrak hits you, can be a very nasty one shot. I lost several characters because I am not very... I didn't pay attention basically. This is a good time to use some skills. First I'm gonna focus the odds, get rid of them. So this, you have to dodge this on every cost. This is his powerful attack. This is the other one that you want to dodge. His fist is not so dangerous. I put myself in a very dangerous situation in that corner. And this is how you fight him usually. Don't give him a window to get you with any of his lumps. Let's see what weapons he carries. Sometimes he carries some crazy stuff. This one is Barbaric of the Void. The Void is useless for him, but Barbaric is a very dangerous prefix. These guys, they drop the captains, they drop a very nice helm that I'm looking for.
Well, if it is, I haven't been entire. I came upon these.
Here we're gonna meet Ulgrim in his true form. He is the first blade of the Emperor. Basically, when he becomes the first blade, there is all of his records got deleted. His identity, everything, so he can work freely in the shadows. Ulgrim end up conflicts before they rise up. Ulgrim is a proper assassin. It's the best assassin in Grim Dawn. That's why this devotion is actually him, unknown soldier. Nobody knows who it is. All of his records deleted. He works secretly for the Emperor and take direct orders from him. Unfortunately, Emperor got possessed, and in last his moment of sanity, when he was himself, not the ethereal that possessed him, he ordered to Ulgrim to kill him for the sake of the Imperium. So Ulgrim have the most hardest task and kill the Emperor. And now he's together with us fighting the Grim Dawn. But enough lore about him, let's go back, turn up this quest, and probably I'm gonna end up the video now. I'm gonna leave Homestead and bind Barons for the next part. This part we did quite well. I managed to find some useful stuff for myself to bring the build together. Still a lot of work until I make this thing works. But for now I think it's pretty doable. I have to upgrade my belt, a lot of my stuff actually very low level. Especially the boots, I have to upgrade them before I approach the harder content at Bloodgrove. But this is for now. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.